Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this Boys Season 3 reviews. This is the season finale for the Boys. I am the Maniac Trasnell, and I'm joined by...
The one who's not going back in that box, Jessica.
There you go.
Yeah, Taylor Field.
Can you explain what that is without spoilers or no? Because I was perplexed.
No, I can't. I
That-
mean, if you've seen
the
it,
first
so
thing I'm gonna
you know at the
I've-
end.
What?
There was-
Yeah, I get... Okay, that's a
Yeah,
strange nickname.
I'm
Just the
still
word
not
yeah,
100% sure.
was. Yeah, you'll have to explain that. We'll definitely be talking about that moment, but I just very strange. But it would have it nonetheless, whether it be Taylor or talking about the Boys. But yeah, we're here. This is the season finale of season 3, like we said. So, gosh, who knows when this show's going to be back? I feel like I'm already... And that's it. We just said we're here. We saw it. That's it. We're done. No, I think they said they start filming season 4 in August. So hopeful is that it's back next year at least. But yeah, it's all done now. Taylor Field, we got lots popping off. Miss Marvel, we did a penultimate episode, and the finale is next week. And then talking about superheroes and all right, talking about Marvel superheroes. We just did Thor: Love and Thunder. I think it was like almost a 3-hour review, 240, pretty good. We had a good time with it. I'm trying to think what else. You guys had a side quest. We got the Boys going on right now. Lots of stuff. Newscast, a superhero draft happened. Where can they find it all, Taylor Field?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse on our Facebook.
Yeah, and everything we do, whether it's audio, video, if you want to subscribe, rate, review, it's all down below. If you want to use our Manscaped code at manscaped.com to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping, go use the podcast code GVPOD and you will get those things. And that's a good thing. We talk about summer, time to look a little better down there. You know, you're gonna be sporting some different looks. You don't want to be sporting the Sasquatch look. Is there... what do you got? What are you holding there, Jessica?
This is yogurt.
I know that. My kids devour it. Yeah.
Why has it got like a glue cap lid?
So that way the kids don't like throw it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They have to like suck it out.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't stop Kai. It still gets all over my house. But when you were talking about Manscaped and you said it's almost summer or something like that, I was pushing in the chair. I wasn't concentrating, and I thought you were calling out summer.
Yeah, Summer, you better go get some Manscaped. We've been hearing some bad rumors about you online. No, she doesn't hear. I don't think she even watches or listens to the Boys or whatever, so she'll never know this. But the criminal would just steal them. But you know why? That's why you use the code, because that code is a steal. And yeah, most importantly, head over to Patreon. You get to support us, and in supporting us, you get to create more shows, more content. But in rewarding of that, you get ad-free, exclusive, early episodes. You get 3 episodes exclusive a month. I have to look at the calendar, but I think next week is going to be after 9, I think. So look out for that. And yeah, retro's coming up there early, things like that. I don't know when the next originals will be. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff popping off on the Patreon feed right now. And we thank everyone that supports us there.
16th is after 9.
Oh, there you go. So I thought it was that, but I wasn't sure. So that might be the date. Don't know if it's a day or night one. Everyone look out for those updates. But now to get into the Boys season 3. So Jessica, what did you think about this closeout for the 3rd season of the Boys?
So I'm just going to preface by saying that I watched the penultimate and then this episode back to back. So if anything melds together during this, that's why. So, non-spoilers. I kind of saw where things were headed, but then this episode took it somewhere I wasn't expecting. And I really don't 100% know where the next season is going to go. We ended in a way that it's cliffhanger-y, but it's also really open, so there's a lot of different ways that they can take this and a lot of discussion about what different things are going to happen. And I'm really excited for it. I think there was a lot of really great character development in this episode. A lot of closure to a couple things that, you know, have kind of been building for a while. And yeah, I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts on it. And I'll leave that for now.
Taylor Field.
Yeah, this Yeah, it's the
That
boys.
yogurt's for kids, Jessica. It's not for you.
I'd eat tricks too if I had them.
Mm. Go ahead, Taylor.
Everyone's just cussing away. It's throwing me off. Fucking crikey.
Slurping like
Oh
you
my
over
god,
there.
just got the tongue on the glue cap there. Oh my god.
Just for you.
uh Yeah, it's the boys. I mean, it's what can I say? This is the finale. It came like super quick. I can't believe that we're actually here at the finale of the boys. I'm quite saddened by it because this has just been a highlight of my week seeing the show, and this episode I feel like it just really did deliver. There were some things we talked about last week, and then I thought in retrospect, like I was afraid they would happen, and then certain things like did kind of happen. Yeah, in this episode, I thought, well, shit, like, you know, it's. I didn't feel like super happy about certain things, but it's just the way it is. It's the boys, and I still am happy that I got to enjoy like a bunch of. I'm not gonna say that. That's a spoiler. There are many good things. So overall, when the episode kind of like came to its conclusion, like I saw a lot of people freaking out about how the ending just felt like we were kind of back to square one, you could say. I didn't get that
I
vibe.
disagree with that. I feel like it's a complete game changer where
I think
certain
it is
things
too.
are. Yeah.
I definitely think it is too. I'm on that train for sure. But I see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, we're kind of back at square one," like not happy with how certain characters kind of ended up at this point, and like from the boys, not really like our main heroes, but hero villains.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like for me personally, I think everything that they did in this episode really worked for me, and I'm just I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like I honestly, where we were thinking like we were gonna get like climatic battles, all this kind of stuff, and like, oh, who's gonna die, who's gonna live? This is gonna be like, how are they gonna do another season when everything like goes to shambles and stuff like that? And now we're in the situation where like,
well, I never
it's
thought
just
that. That may be you. I was never
discussions.
on the.
We were discussions.
And
I was
careful
never.
about what
I
you
was
say.
never discussing. Oh, well, how are we gonna get another season? You know, I didn't think certain things are gonna happen.
Where we're at now, like, yes, we're definitely getting another season, but it's where we've reached. It's just going to be very interesting to see how the story so far will unravel, because I think they got to a really again interesting part in my opinion. I don't know why everyone else is kind of freaking out, but it's just going to be very exciting to see this next season's premiere episode. I think it's going to be like a killer one.
Literally.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I would say that for the most part, really good finale. I guess I could say great. I guess it's just because like it was a mix of I did Thor: Love and Thunder, did the review, and then watched that right after. So it's like I just had like a condensed like 4 hours, just like a lot streamlining. So I wish I would have watched it one more time before this, but I thought it was great. I thought for me, there's portions, actually mostly the majority of this episode, where it was the closest I've been to watching Breaking Bad again, where every scene you're on the edge of the seat, tip of your toes, you're wondering what's next, you're invested in every storyline, every character. And there was maybe like a little cool down maybe right before the kind of third act of this episode, but there's just like scene after scene, update after update, like what we gonna do. And again, Anthony Starr is just as Homelander, just terrific. You know, like I said, like he might have some troubles outside, and I hope that he's getting that stuff worked on in real life, and I hope that he turns the corner and everything. You know, but the good thing is always separate that from the artist, right? Where I think as the performance, he does a phenomenal job, and Homelander's one of my favorite characters just to ever be created. As far as even villains, he's up there. And like, I don't know, I'd have to make a list of rankings. I know we've done fictional characters, but as far as villains, he's definitely a top 10. And I don't know what Jessica's doing, but that looks suspicious as well, talking about the other things. But okay, that's fair.
That's a
But
big bowl. Holy
that's
shit.
a big bowl. What's the brand called? Jessica's eating because she didn't have time, so it's fine.
Tonkatsu.
Yeah, tonkatsu. That's a
Tonkatsu. That's
Oh, I see. But anyway, so Homelander just continues to just be, even if the show, all of it sucked, but the Homelander character was there, I'd be in. But we continue to see the power struggle in this episode kind of come to a front, and that's where I disagree. Where I feel like everything's changed for most of the characters. There's a few characters that maybe didn't fully change, but I feel like there was a resolution to storylines that we probably won't get brought up again. So that's what I enjoy. I think it left it in. I feel like that's where I'm on the other side. Jessica, I know exactly where we're going for season 4. Like I feel about 3 plots in particular where I feel like those are going to be the driving forces. So we got that going on. maybe even 4 with certain characters and their fates and everything. So I have one, I don't want to say what it is, but people, if they've been listening to my season 1 review, season 2 or now, they'll know what it is. I have a pretty big complaint about this episode, but it also has to do with the show overall. And I think at the end of the day, when I talk about, oh, is this a perfect show? Like Breaking Bad, I honestly think I can make the case like, that's a perfect show. I can never make the case with this because they did a certain storyline and it ended as like, oh, that's all we're getting of this story, seemingly. So either or overall, I thought it was a great finale, left us some good places. Just some really cool moments as far as not only just the acting and story, but just like even action of there's one particular scene where certain characters have to work together and stuff. And man, it's just like it's hype and it's just a great show that just delivers in the gray area, very much like Game of Thrones in its best times or Breaking Bad, where it's like you're rooting for different people and then one scene later and you're not rooting for them anymore, or you're surprised you're rooting for this person, you know, like it keeps shifting. And yeah, just great TV. I can't wait to see what's next. This group is just they're just killing it all around. So anything else non-spoilers? All right, so if you've not seen the finale, we're getting into spoilers, so right now take a break, get away, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So I guess what I will start with, because I want to start because I only have, I think, the one con, and you're right there, Taylor. You look scared and you took your headphones off. What happened?
No, my hair's doing the weird little alfalfa thing.
Okay, great. So what I was saying is I had this problem with season 1. I had this with last year and even this year to extend. I'm really bummed out that I'm sure we'll see Maeve again, but if this is the end of Maeve's story, man, the boys just they never really use that character to her full extent. Like, and like even this one, when she hooked up a bitch, I'm like, oh, we're gonna get some stuff, and then she gets locked up for 4 episodes, and then this one, okay, she makes a hero play to stop Soldier Boy, but still, it's just like I almost wish if we don't see her again that they did just kill her, because I feel like, and I saw the writers' quotes that they said they wanted Maeve to get a happy ending, but I just feel at least that would have gave me some sort of purpose with her, because now I get she doesn't have superpowers, but she's like, oh, and she survived and she's going off. So I feel like each season there could have been, especially with the relationship between her and Homelander, they could have got into that more, and they were starting to this season, but I just felt like they never fully used that character, you know. And I feel like for what seemed like such a big part, like I feel like Deep has had more stories and Adrian's had more stories, and Maeve has kind of always been around. She's been like a plot exposition point of she's the one that has the airplane video. She is the airplane video. You know, she's the one that's captive. She's the one that's captive. So I that's my only hang up with this, because I was loving the fight with Homelander. I love that she went toe to toe. I think she maybe got a little too much in, because I feel like they've always said that Homelander is so indestructible. And when she got that piece of metal in his ear, I was like, I didn't even think that was physically possible to do to Homelander at this point, but it seemed like it didn't affect him. I don't know. So I liked the content we got with Maeve. I usually always did, but I just always wanted more. So I don't think I was that satisfied with her story. So that's where I don't think this episode for me would be like a perfect 10. Even the season would not be like a perfect 10 for me, because I think I wanted more with that character.
I think that we have a chance for her to come back, especially once we had Kimiko take V again and become super again.
I think it will be a while though. I don't know if it'll even be next year, and if it is, it'll be like one episode. And like, I guess I just wish she didn't lose her powers, or right away they gave her powers. I just feel her going off to live with her girlfriend, which I guess I get it. She did that hero stay in place, so I guess the hero, like, she forgave her. But I felt like last season that girlfriend was pretty strong on like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, you let, and I get it, but it's similar. Like, she did let all those, not let, but like she kind of let Homelander get away with the innocent people, kids dying. I guess the idea is, okay, she is trying to make amends for that, expose Homelander. But then even give us that scene then of them getting back together. You know, that scene of Maeve's her and she wakes up and she's there and they have a conversation about it. And I feel like that's always been Maeve's story, where, you know, there's always, you get the beginning and the end, but the middle stuff, they just like edited out or didn't even film. Like, yeah, we don't need that. So yeah, I'm always going to be wanting more with Maeve, and I don't think even if she comes back, I don't think she'll ever be like a main player, and I think it's kind of a little frustrating.
I never really felt all that way about Maeve. To me, it didn't matter if she could say she could go. It didn't matter at all. But I will agree with you. I was surprised of how much damage she could do. You know, if she was this powerful all along, you know, and she's able to pierce his eardrum and make a, give him bloody nose and this and that.
Mhm.
I don't know why she didn't make a move sooner.
I guess
Feels
she
like there
feels
was
like
possibility.
Well, yeah, I guess she felt like maybe this was the way I took it. She was just going to fight him no matter what. Maybe she never knew that she was as strong as this. But again, we never got that. And that's the thing I'd say, like what you said about Maeve, like you don't care as much about her. I don't love the Maeve character. I just kind of always found it weird that other than Black Noir, which we learned was for a reason because he couldn't talk and stuff, and he was kind of missing some crayons. Like I feel like every character of the seven got like some sort of subplot lots of time, and Maeve was just kind of always around and stuff like that.
Maeve just was being the lesbian.
100%, just like they did with the show, and they're just like, oh, and she was a queer icon and all this, like all these things and everything. But Tara, anything to say on Maeve?
Personally, I feel like this was a great redemption arc. Just kind of like her just sitting off to the side and trying to like do things secret agent style behind the scenes, and now we finally got a 3 season, I guess, build up to her actually going like hand to hand against Homelander, and just the rage and the emotion that was pouring out of her. I really liked that, and I liked how Homelander was just kind of like, Maeve, just stop. Like, what do you think you're doing? And she just kept going at it, and it was crazy because she loses her eye. It was just absolutely brutal, but she definitely held her own, and I really like seeing that fight. Her actually like becoming the hero. She lived like true and true to her name as being a hero in this moment where
True
she
and
saved, true and true, yeah. she saved everyone in that tower that was still there by pushing out Soldier Boy, and I really like how she did that. And I did think she died because that was a big bomb, but I think again that whole experience there was great because it's not just about her outcome in that situation was really to why can't I remember her? Jessica, right? Is that
Her girlfriend's name?
No. Like the Vought CEO. Is that her name? Is it Jessica, right?
Ashley.
Ashley, thank you. Yes. So when Ashley sees that footage, I think this again, it's just a great little component of the story and her character with Queen Maeve to just kind of further along and fuel another dynamic with Ashley, and Ashley seeing it and deleting it. I fucking love that scene there. I think that was just really spoke volumes. So I'm really happy. I'm happy that Queen Maeve is alive. I would be more than happy to see her come back at some point, but I definitely don't feel like we need to. I feel very happy with the conclusion that we got in her story arc.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's to transition because I don't have much to add on her, but the Ashley stuff was great because that footage, you could read in it to any ways as far as, okay, she knows that, Homelander has to, it could be a fuck you to Homelander for what happened earlier, which was a brutal scene. And now it's so funny. I'm excited to talk to Taylor about that with the wig thing, because you had said you didn't like that, like it always bugged you, but like she was getting turned on by her hair being pulled. But now it seems like there's much more deeper roots at, because I love when a show does that, when it's all this stuff's happening. He's just like, take off the wig. And she's like, excuse me. He's like, take off that fucking wig. And we have no idea as the viewers that this is a thing at all. And then it comes off. You're like, oh my God. And this explains, like, that's like some great, like, writing right there throughout the whole season, layering it in. And we just like, oh, it's just like a kink. And I guess like it is still kind of, but we don't know it's to the kink of like this extent. But that's why I love, like, with the video footage, it is like, is that a fuck you to Homelander? Is that like eventually we may need Maeve? Is it a like, yeah, what, I did feel bad about for Maeve, and I like Maeve enough that I don't want Homelander hunter down? And you don't know exactly her motivation. You might learn more of that later on, because I do think Ashley at some point is going to turn. I think that's the only way to get rid of Homelander, is eventually they're all just going to have to work together. Whether they like each other or not, they're going to have to put their shit aside and say, hey, we got to take this guy out, especially now he's got a team up thing. But I really like that dynamic, and I loved the wig scene.
Am I remembering it wrong? I remember it being that she deleted the footage of them picking up Soldier Boy.
No, that was
it was
Queen
Maeve. Yeah.
It was Maeve? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were rescuing Soldier Boy. Come on, Soldier Boy, get back in the fight.
Maeve's like, and I got him too. And he's on the farm with them and everything like that. But do you guys also, with much, you guys got anything to add on Ashley in this little reveal here? I love, again, too, she's still they don't make her too nice because she tells her assistant she's not allowed to be on the helicopter. What did she? Oh, sorry, it's for like executives. So she leaves her in this building that could blow up any moment.
I know it's not this episode, but just A-Train still being alive it's got to be for some reason because.
Oh
so ready
yeah,
for him to die.
Oh
But he
really?
looked like-
Oh yeah.
He looked so done with Homelander shit, right? He's going to be one of those ones that looks like he's going to turn as well. The Deep was in that same scene with Ashley looking like he was getting to the point of being done.
Yeah, but he took the bitch route.
In Too Deep was his wife's book.
I thought for sure when she was talking about you don't know him like I did, I thought the photo of him fucking the octopus was going to come out because I feel like Starlight hasn't dropped that yet, right?
Homelander knew though, because remember he
no,
said,
but I'm talking about the public more knowing.
Oh, the public now, okay.
Like I know does the
he would
public
be able to hear them fucking in the tower because Homelander can hear everything.
he can see Black Nora's face, which we'll get into. Great scene, but like the public, I don't think the public knows the deepest fucking fish. So I feel like that would change some stuff, and and that's where I'm ready for the A-Train redemption in the sense of I don't know if I'll ever be rooting for him, but I love that scene with his brother, and his brother, he thought he did the right thing, right? He took out Blue Hawk and because he fucked up the community, hurt you, but his brother just like talks down, says like I do not want a murderer around my son, around my kids. And the bad thing is his brother just thinks it's the one-time thing, right? So A-Train in his mind knows how many more people he's murdered or like done shady stuff us because of the 7. So I think everything in this episode and now he can run. So I'm looking very forward to the semi-redemption. We talk about in the 7 year that's coming up next week. I feel like he's going to get a better redemption arc than the certain characters that we name from Star Wars because they're going to have this season and it's a slow build. And I think you could still dislike him, but they're beating him down each episode with his brother, with the community, with all this stuff and everything, Anything to add on A-Train, Taylor? Anybody?
Well, personally, I think you're totally right. Everything about him is just being like worn down, and he tried to do something right for his brother, and his brother's like, fuck off, all that kind of stuff. So it's not working for him. He's trying to be the good guy, be the hero, and now he's in this situation where his brother's paralyzed, and he's just got to learn. He's got to learn, and he's just got to learn. And in this situation now, Homelander's just being super, super shitty to him. And I'm wondering, it's tricky because I felt like maybe he didn't act on joining the anti-Homelander squad before because he couldn't run, and now he's in a position where he's got his powers,
he might have been scared.
Yeah, now
what's he gonna do against Homelander? At least he could run away.
Yeah, exactly. Now he's in a position where he can actually do something. So, yeah.
And I want, because we got mixed up there with A-Train. What did you feel about the Ashley wig reveal? Because we talked about that a few episodes ago about the hair pulling, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like that type of stuff in like a fun way, but like, what do you think about that reveal now? Like, so what I'm taking is like, is this King in the way that she like? Does she like it that much? She's pulled out all her hair, or is she sick? I feel like it's the kink,
she
right?
pulled all her hair out.
Yeah,
that's
definitely fucked up, man.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal. That's so fucking brutal. But yeah, I it's just to tie it off when you mentioned about like what her intentions are, motives. With that video deletion, I totally just felt sympathy and compassion where she did that out of her seeing her facial expressions. It just felt like it was the goodness out of her heart to do that. She didn't feel. I feel like there's going to be redemption coming out from Ashley's character, but yeah, when she pulled the wig off, I was quite surprised. Yeah, and Homelander just, that was wild. Just making her feel humiliated.
And I think where the shift happened is I love that like there's just slowly like no one left at VOD and stuff like that as far as the 7. And I think like where the shift happened was, okay, so they're having their little team meeting, right? And they're waiting for Homelander, they're waiting for Noir, and Homelander walks in, and we'll talk about this. We'll probably tie it in together here, but they're talking about Noir, and like, oh, where's Noir? And he throws that helmet down, and that moment to me was like, because he's had problems with everybody, but with Noir being his closest ally and him killing him, and that's where again it just like, man, Homelander's fuck, like he's completely going off the deep end, which I feel like he does. We talked about him snapping. We'll get to that moment. I feel like this was that moment. It's just that he did it in a like home territory, but he throws that down. I feel like all of them know, okay, our lives are on the like. I think they just know that they could say or do something wrong and they're dead. You know, it doesn't matter what it could be. They even you look at Noir, yeah, he could have told Homelander, but still he's under like probably heavy things from Vought, like you don't say anything, it's not your place, stuff like that. I get they're friends, but there's stuff that Homelander's kept from other people too because of Vought, right? But because Homelander, he's such an egotistical guy, it's like you should have told me.
He reiterates that as well when he drops the helmet and they all look like holy shit, you're right, like this is Noir. And then he goes off to say about how he's so excited to have his team and everything, and then he's like, and then I got you, and then he ended it by saying like you guys aren't all together don't even amount to half of what Black Noir was. And I think that just there, the fact that he killed Black Noir still, and they're seeing this and hearing this, it's just like, shit, you're right, we can't step out of line because it's, you know, that's not good. Like, oh, is that treason? And he's like, oh, big word. Like,
oh, and he that just felt like he was such a bully to that whole team because he knew he could be, because they can't stop him in this moment, you know, and like he's getting worse and worse. And that to me, man, a long time ago in 2015, I remember when Kylo Ren killed Harrison Ford, Han Solo, and I thought, oh, the reason they're doing that is they're showing that Kylo Ren's going to be this very evil villain because a guy that kills his dad, you don't want to mess with that. Now, did we get that route? No, we did not. But that's, I feel like this is actually what they're doing with Homelander, of the equivalent of the only person he kind of was a friend with on the team. He took him out, you know, and Homelander doesn't have much people. So for him to be losing any friends or ally, that's bad. And he didn't even like give Noir a chance to explain himself. He just said, oh, why didn't you tell? Like, did you know? Oh, you should have told me. And in that moment, he puts his hand on him and he hugs him while he rips out his like intestines, but then he pulls it out and he just said, you should have fucking told me. And what a great shot when he's walking away and just like his hand is like the blood, it makes like a trail to his hand, you know, like you can see it, or sorry, his blood is leaving a trail as he walks out of the office and everything like that. So
the funny thing about all that too, like again, very sad that he died, but everything Noir was telling him at that point on, like it was the truth. Like, yes, he should have told them about the whole dad thing, Soldier Boy, whatever, because he knew. I understand that. And Homelander got pissed off about that. But at the end of the day, and this is Homelander's downfall as a character and his mentality, Noir was right. You know, Noir emphasized he's bad. Like, we need to kill him. Bad. And Homelander's just like, no, like, oh, family. You know, gotta go with my family. And tried crying in front of Soldier Boy and all that jazz, and it you know, Noir was right. And I often wonder if there was like a moment of regret where Homelander connected those dots and thinking like, wow, Noir was right, like what did I do here, I made that mistake. But obviously he's moved on because he just seems to move on quite easily, but I think that's just an interesting comparison.
Well, yeah, and it's like he did kill Noir kind of for well, I guess he didn't kill him for nothing, because in Homelander sense he killed him for lying, right? And that's where even if Noir was right about Soldier Boy, like he's bad, we got to kill him, in Homelander's mind, you can't trust him anymore because you lied to me, and that was dead for him. But then that's why we were talking about Ashley and like her moment there. She deleted the Maeve footage, and then A-Train. I feel like in that moment, yeah, Homelander's talking down to him. The Deep, sure, he got instruction, but to me, again, it shows that moment of, I don't think the Deep, like when all these characters are seemingly to go other route where redemption might be possible, the Deep doesn't. He just like doubles down on he's going to be like this pathetic bitch, you know, and he goes and kills this vice president candidate and stuff like that. And that's where I just go, I really don't think there is like a redemption for the Deep. I feel like, you know who I compare him to, and maybe I've done this before too, but I compare him to Benny in The Mummy, you know, where at the end of where he's always flipping sides, he's turning around, but at the end of the day, Benny got crushed. Actually, he didn't get crushed. He just got eaten by a bunch of scarabs, right? And I think that's what's going to happen to the Deep, where I don't even know if Homelander's going to kill him or the boys are going to kill him, because he's just such a pathetic character, and he's still calling Homelander sir when he's bossing around, all this stuff. Like, at least Ashley to A-Train, you can see a route to them turning around. The Deep, no, he's with Homelander to the bitter, terrible end, and I can't wait to see the Deep go down. No pun intended and everything like that. But Jessica, while you're gone, we talked about Black Noir and Homelander's scene, and we talked about more of that scene and yeah, so if there's anything to add on Noir, me and Taylor said last week that we thought he was pretty much a goner. We just thought no matter who, like, I think we said it doesn't matter if it's Soldier Boy or Homelander, he's gonna get taken out, and he got taken out earlier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be in a little while, but no, I thought that was something because I think that happens in the first 15 minutes of the episode, and that puts you on your feet right away. But yeah, anything about that kind of that. I'd say 10 to 20-minute trail of stuff at Vought, Noir, that relationship, and just Noir also he's gone, you know.
Before we start, because I got asked, what are you eating, Taylor?
It's a
Concoctu.
salad. Tongue cock soup. That's what it was called.
That's what it was.
Tonkatsu.
Yeah, it's a salad with kale, broccoli, and dressing and cranberries.
Where did you guys get cock from?
It was
the
a
middle
joke.
word.
It was a joke. It was a joke. You know, I'm taking a break right now because this food mass is happening. So I'll take a break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Just got anything to add on that VOD stuff in the middle there?
For sure. There's some stuff to add on that. Taylor, mute yourself again. Okay.
Noodle sticking out.
So, because I didn't, like I said, I don't totally remember where everything kind of started and began. So last week when I was watching it, there was some stuff going down, and so I had it in the background and I was trying to concentrate, and I looked up and there was all the little animated creatures, and I was just like, that was the point when I was like, okay, I'm obviously not paying enough attention to be able to review this later, so I'm just gonna put this on the back burner. And then so when I watched it today, I was, interested in the fact that it's a good way for them to take a character that can't talk and give him a voice in a story without just the writing on the paper. And so I do commend them on that, and it was really interesting. And being able to use his little cartoon animals to give us the full details of his background, the splitting his head open and the brains coming out, and being able to see that he's missing part of his brain, even when he's writing to Homelander, it's not even
bad.
It's
how bad? He just underlines it. Bad.
So, you can tell that there's a couple of screws missing there. So I thought they did a really good job of being able to portray that conversation's in his head without words. When he walked in the room, I didn't expect him to die then. As soon as, Homelander got up close, I was like, oh, something's going down when he's finding out about the lying. But I didn't think it was going to be ripping out his heart. I thought, something like Maeve where, maybe captured or has to re-earn his trust or whatever it's going to be. But that scene definitely, like you said, okay, we're started. And then, sorry, what was the other part of my question?
Oh, we just talked. Me and Taylor just going back and forth about A-Train, Ash in the Deep as well. So you were already talking about Ash and A-Train. So if there's anything you want to add on the Deep before we move on, because he's not in this episode that much, which is fine.
Yeah, I don't think I really have much to add on the Deep. He's just kind of the slimeball character. It'll be interesting to see how his wife speaking out, melds into everything in the next season. Maybe that'll finally make him pick a side or do something noteworthy.
Yeah, I feel like he's still just even gonna go on Homelander's side because the people are gonna be like, oh yeah, you could fuck fish. That's fine. Like the people that are like really crazy Homelander supporters and stuff. But we'll see next year. Well, Todd. I hope we didn't get confirmed if Todd is broken up with Mars' wife, and I hope that is. I hope that happened. Obviously, she was yelling and she was like, "Oh, why did you take her to Homelander thing?" But I hope that's like over now because don't want that happening. And maybe we'll transition to Homelander and Soldier Boy because we talked about Homelander a little bit, but obviously the crux of this episode was okay. So Homelander and Soldier Boy found out like okay, they're father and son biologically, so they're. I liked everything with Soldier Boy. It kept going back and forth of playing of, oh, is he going to be good? Is he going to be bad? It's not good or bad, sorry. More just like, whose side is he going to be on? I liked all his conversations with Butcher because sometimes it feels like he'd be like, no, we made a deal, whatever. And then there's other times where I feel like he was very uneasy. But I'd have to think back to next week or last week, but I feel like me and Taylor's like, or I don't know if it was me and Taylor, but I feel like at least myself, I just felt like Homelander and Soldier Boy were not gonna, the team up wasn't gonna work, and I thought it was gonna be for a similar reason of this of. Like, I love what they did with Soldier Boy. They just made him a fucking real hard right wing boomer, and he just is like any emotion from a male to him is weakness from his generation, and he just like I wouldn't have raised you to be such a coward and a pussy and a bitch and like this, and especially Homelander, who's his psyche's so fragile all the time in this moment, and it was just that build was so good too. Of like, man, when he landed and he was talking to Ryan and he's having like the exact opposite conversation with Ryan that Butcher had with Ryan, you're just like, fuck. Like, one, you're mad at Butcher because he fucked everything up, and two, it's just like Homelander saying exactly what this kid wants to hear right now. So he's saying, you know, oh, I'll never not love you, you'll make mistakes, but you know what, even though like he said that, but last season he was ready to blow Ryan the fuck away. Like, Ryan doesn't remember that, but he was gonna blow Ryan away before Maeve came up with the tape and everything like that. So, but he is saying, oh no, I can always forgive you, we make mistakes. And it was a great speech and acting by Anthony Starr of like, I understand those mistakes, I've made them, but it's all out of love and stuff. So this scene where you get I'm your son, and then when he brings in the grandson, I love it's just a bunch of fucking weird dynamics. But again, it is just like, it's not really like Butcher was saying, it's not really your son. Yeah, it's your son, but it's the same way there's a difference between a biological dad and your father. You know, like there's a difference of the person that takes care of you and just like is a donor. And that's pretty much what Soldier Boy is. He's just a donor. He's just like they took him from him. But yeah, you just said I wish I was around because I wouldn't have raised you to be such a bitch. And then that sets Homelander off, and they almost had Homelander, but then, you know, great time and great move on Ryan's part that he took out Soldier Boy, and then a whole bunch of stuff goes down. But Taylor, what do you think about the dynamic of Soldier Boy going back and forth, Homelander and Ryan, kind of all just those three? The I don't even know, I guess they don't have a last name, but just the soups, the god soups. Just you got the grandfather, the father, and the son.
The Holy Spirit,
Yeah,
Ghost, yeah. Yeah, it was, I think, to derail us. I think we had this whole setup of, is he going to join Homelander? That was the whole goal of last week's episode, just to close us out, because holy shit, they're related. Are they going to team up? What's going on? And I'm glad that didn't work out. When that scene's like Homelander was crying, and when he pulled out the boy's name is it Brandon?
Ryan,
right. Get my names all confused tonight. He pulls out Ryan, and I think that was a really, really smart tactic. Holy shit, that was so clever. And when Soldier Boy just starts calling him out, call him like, yeah, pussy and stuff like that. Like, if I had the chance to raise you, you'd have been like a tough man. When he starts talking like that, because at first when Butcher's really, really concerned, especially because Ryan's in there, but when he starts saying these things, and then you can just see in the background, Butcher just starts to smile so devilishly. I'm like, oh, this is so good. Yeah, I love this so much. But it just, you're like, holy shit, you have this, all these supers here and this horrible dynamic unfolding where now Ryan's in the picture. So now Butcher's going to go and save Ryan. And it's just like, fuck, it's right there. Homelander could actually die. It's right fucking there. It's not happening. And it's just, it's a pain in the butt because now Queen Maeve is going after Homelander, and then Butcher's going after Soldier Boy, and
Starlight's going after Soldier Boy as well. And
yeah,
that's where I loved. It was that great moment of this happens. Ryan bucks off Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy just looks at him. He's ready to execute this kid on the fucking spot. And what I love is you get a moment where Homelander and Butcher have to team up to take it out, and they just look at each other with such disgust that they had to work together for a second. But that is the good shit right there. Like, just for a second, you would never think it, but for 10 seconds in this world, Butcher and Homelander's first needs matched. They all came together, and they had to work together in this moment to stop the grandfather. And like, man, that's some good stuff. Then you're like, oh my god, they just had to work together with their laser eyes, you know?
Yeah, that was such a cool scene. Oh shit.
Yeah. Jessica, anything to add on the fucked up family dynamic?
Yeah, of course. I want to touch on that little nugget. So, I definitely thought it was going to be a DNA thing. I didn't think they were going to go the father-son route to try and, make it touchy-feely. so for me, that threw me off. And yeah, you go into it wondering, okay, well, how is this going to affect things? Is Soldier Boy going to flip flop? And then all of a sudden we got two soups working together to kill everyone. But when we get there and everything goes down, I thought in that one scene it was going to be Butcher actually to take Soldier Boy out, not Ryan. So when Ryan came in and joined, so when Homelander's about to die and Ryan laser eyed him, it definitely showed kind of the effect that speech did have, and does lend into kind of how the finale happened with Ryan joining his dad as a soup. So that one surprised me, and I didn't expect it. I thought for sure he would run away, just not be a part of it after that. I guess he kind of wasn't. It was just that one scene.
Well, yeah, I think he gets knocked unconscious because I think Soldier Boy, he hits him once. Remember? Yeah, because I think he decks him and then he goes to do this charge up thing. So I think Ryan's just kind of unconscious until they leave at the end.
So, yeah, I did think it was an interesting, fun way to do it, where all of a sudden they do switch because of Ryan. So, Ryan saved Homelander's life because of Butcher, even though Butcher is such an asshole.
Oh yeah, but Butcher screwed. If Butcher wouldn't have told him to fuck off because he's never gonna forgive him for killing Becca, there's a good chance this doesn't go down. And that's where we'll get when we talk about Butcher. But I feel like that's where this season was so good of an arc for Butcher, because he finally realized all the mistakes he's been making, but that bit him in the ass, right? If he wouldn't have done that, if he wouldn't been such a prick like his dad, then maybe Ryan doesn't save him. Maybe Ryan believes Butcher more, but. He's a kid. He's like, what, 10 or 12? And you got one guy telling you're like a little prick, and then another guy saying I'm going to love you forever. What do you think the 12-year-old kid's going to do? That's believable. With some characters when they're older, yeah, that wouldn't work. But when it's a child, that absolutely works. And this is a child that's living a super sheltered life. He's away from everybody. He's just with I forget her name, the handler who used to work. Mallory. Yeah, he's kind of living like Homelander was, right? Where Homelander talked about he lived alone and they made up this family life of his first dad and all this backstory and stuff. So he is starting to, unfortunately, they've made him like Homelander, where he has no parents. He's living an isolated life and he can't trust anybody. And then you get Homelander, who flies down, just says everything that Homelander would have wanted to hear at that age. Not Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy didn't give a fuck because he's not. You're not tough. I don't want anything to do with you. And I wonder what would have happened if Soldier Boy had won it all, but he didn't. He got knocked out and still alive though. Still alive.
The other piece of it is Butcher's whole, realizing everyone that he loves or has been friends with him dies. So I think for him, he tried to save Huey, and then now this was his attempting to save Ryan. Honestly, I don't personally get it. I don't feel that connection between Butcher and Ryan.
I don't think it's that. I think it's the Becca thing, because that was the last thing he promised her, right? She said, promise me no matter what. So I feel like it's more of a, even when he says that to Soldier Boy, he's like, why do you care about this kid? And he's like, it's my wife's kid. And Soldier Boy's just like, Homelander fucked your wife. It's just like, oh fuck. Just the dynamics of the show is so crazy. So I feel like it's not so much Ryan. I feel like he's letting Becca down, and that's the worst person he wants to let down.
Yeah, so I get that, and I know that, but I don't know, just that promise to Becca of this kid that he's already told to F off being more important than killing the guy that he's been trying to kill for 3 seasons. I don't know. To me,
that's
it almost
growth,
seems...
though. He's not leading with hatred. He's leading with love now. That's a different than Butcher. He's changing, because if you love with hate, he's going to push everyone away. He's trying to change his ways. He's changed. He's a changed man.
Should have just killed the kid.
No, he can't be. That's his one life goal now. Which we'll talk about him. But yeah, and then so we talked about this a little bit with Maeve. But yeah, Soldier Boy was just gonna destroy everybody. Maeve punches him out, and then I kind of forgot. I'm like, how did Maeve like survive that? But I'm like, oh right, it's just for taking her powers. And then the press does confirm that it was Soldier Boy, so that does get put into the public and the news, so they know that. And then Soldier Boy is alive. I'm interested to see what they do with him in the future. I don't think he will come back next season, and if it does, maybe it's like near the end. I think they'll hold him off as like a card. I don't know how it goes in the comic books. I had thought I'd heard that he was like a one character arc, like he came in, did something, and then died. But the thing is, they've changed lots, and it's just an echo. So I guess I get why they want to keep him around. I don't know what left there is. Same thing. I'll wait to see when they bring him back. I don't know what left there is for them to do with Soldier Boy. Like I feel like this was the ultimate thing. You got the family connection. You got him with Black Noir. Like I feel like they tied everything up. So I actually, as of right now, I'm fine if we never see him again. I love Starlights too. When same thing, like oh god, why am I? Huey powered her up and turned up all the energy, and she's flying and stuff. Like I thought that was great. But yeah, I didn't know if I needed Soldier Boy to survive. I'm open to a storyline, but Taylor, what do you think? Do you think we see Soldier Boy again? And if so, when and how much, etc.?
Oh, yeah, that's the ultimate question here. I mean, if we do get him back, I don't feel like you would build up this putting him on ice at the end of the season just to bring him back in the next season.
Yeah, like episode 1, he's here.
I think maybe like an episode 7 or an 8 in the next season, you could see him maybe coming back and doing something. Unless
we didn't think that about Stormfront, though, right? Stormfront just was randomly alive for 2 episodes. Like we didn't think she'd be at all in an episode.
True, and they did kill her off after 2 episodes. Like they just used her just to kind of like fuel Homelander's kind of like transition. Whereas with this, like I mean, yeah, they could really do whatever they want, but he's on ice. He's unconscious. That's the thing. He's not like injured, but still like
he's incapacitated right now. I think he's pretty much like what they're, because the Captain America thing, like the way Bucky would get like refrozen, that's what he is right now. I feel like he's in a comatose state. He's gonna be locked away, and I guess that still means they haven't figured out a way to actually kill him still, because they know how to knock him out, but they still don't know how to actually just get rid of that body. So I guess that lines up continuity wise. And maybe what they will do though is they'll have an episode or something where maybe they get like there's an episode that just flashbacks a bunch and they finally find a way to kill Soldier Boy. And when they find that way, that's how they figure out that's how they could kill Homelander.
Couldn't you drown him? Wouldn't that work?
I wonder, right? Like just submerge in water and see what happens. Or does he just sit there and he's just like, hey, like nothing's happening to me? Like the same way like Wolverine, he would drown, he'd become unconscious because he's metal, but it would never kill him. It would just always like knock him out. He'd like wake up, knock out, wake up. So like maybe that's it. He just can't actually die that way. But definitely, even just keep him submerged in water is not a bad idea, because I feel like you'd be all over the place. But I wonder if that's it, where they'll use him as a way to experiment on him, just so they could find, okay, if we find something that kills Soldier Boy, that weapon or something could kill Homelander. Because all these characters, not all, but majority of these characters, Maeve is Wonder Woman, Soldier Boy is Captain America, Homelander is Superman. I imagine at some point they're going to have to find a kryptonite, right? Because this whole show's always like, how are we ever going to kill Homelander? And I feel like at some point they're going to figure out kryptonite, and maybe them having Soldier Boy is going to help them lead to that now. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember like your initial question.
Oh, just the fate of Soldier Boy when we see you next, and you kind of answered some of that. So anything else on Soldier Boy specifically?
Oh, when he was fighting everyone at the end there, and he I don't know.
Shield got broken.
Shield got broken. I want this to like segue off of him until we're like primed and ready to segue off of him. But when he like bashes Starlight and she goes flying, and I thought it was cool when you mentioned it. Huey like chooses to help her instead of helping himself to help her, and I like that development for the character. He amps up the energy and she like floats up, and I did find it very, very awesome to see her go full OP mode, but it sucked that she just kind of like she did her blast and then she just fell
first time though, right?
I guess first time, but like I've been waiting for like this like peak moment, because so far all we've had is her just like light in her eyes. I wanted to see her go like full supernova. Like I want to see that Starlight.
We could never win with you. I feel like, and I know it's been 3 seasons, but I feel like that was your biggest thing with Captain Marvel, that you hate that second she got so powered up, she was so strong. Like with Starlight, I feel like that's the idea that she will learn to control this and control the power, and eventually she could be OP mode all the time. But this was the first time getting that exposure, you know. So, for Starlight, you want to, you want it right now. First time exposed, you want power. Captain Marvel, you're like, man, I don't know, she's too powerful now.
Starlight's not nuking planets just yet, but
But
it's
next
just
season,
like
she
we
just
didn't-
starts.
Yeah, we didn't get like a lot of her like using her powers in this season. I feel like
Yeah.
so I would have liked like a little bit more of that. So, but you do make a point. Like she's still like she's coping with it. It's a lot of electron volts or whatever you want to
Oh,
call
yeah.
it.
I imagine
Lumens,
so.
lumens. That's what the term is.
Jessica, anything else on Soldier Boy and just kind of what you expect to see from him or not see him, etc.?
I think you bring up a really good point about using him to find a way to get a weakness on Homelander. Even thinking about who would be the one to bring him back, the only one that kind of decided that he would be of any use was Maeve to help kill Homelander,
Yep.
but now she's human and gone. Everyone else worked together to put him in there, so who would be the one to go and break him out is kind of my question.
Maybe Newman, like who's running for vice president now, like
Yeah,
the
the-
head popper lady. Yeah, because you never know what the fuck she's planning. Like, so that's the only person. But that's just like me thinking of like who's one evil person that could be like, I have an idea. But other than that,
But
you're
she
right.
shouldn't know that he's alive still.
True. Yeah. Well, she shouldn't, but she clearly knows stuff that more than we thought, right? Because she was not related, but adopted by Giancarlo Esposito there. So I feel like she always knows a bit more than she's letting on.
That's true. So I think we won't get him back next season at all as a walking, talking character.
Hmm.
I don't think flashbacks. If anything, I think just his body, going up with a knife and seeing if it cuts him or something like that, using him as a test subject. But even to wake him up, how do they get more of this super rare perfume bottle substance that can knock him out, right? So
You got to pay
there's a
Frenchie
couple-
to sit in the lab all day long and just make it. Like he doesn't even have to be at the boys. He could have a full-time job just making this chemical over and over and over.
Well, it's a democracy now, so he can vote
That's
for
true.
it.
That's true.
Yeah, I will say though, I am sad that Jensen Ackles is gone. I was hoping to get to see him more. I like him as an actor. I liked his character, but such is the fate.
Well,
And then, yeah,
Oh, I was just gonna say on that. I'm just interested to see next year. I think one thing that's been good about the boys when it's like comparing to like especially like Marvel, right? Gets a big comparison. That is like the Disney Plus superhero shows because those are the current ones. Where Marvel like has a lot of formulas going on to them. I do hope next year they are careful because so far we've had 2 seasons back to back where Homelander starts as the main threat, but then like a bigger threat rises up, right? Like last year was Stormfront, this year was Soldier Boy. I feel like next year they're going to do that same thing with Newman where, oh, Homelander's the big threat, but really Newman's going to be the one they take out that season. And I feel like they're doing that just to buy time to get to Homelander. Like it's like he's the end boss in a video game and you keep meeting all these mini bosses. Like right before, like, oh, I'm getting to the main mission. They're like, well, you need to do one more thing before you end this game. Like that's what these characters feel like. So I kind of hope that doesn't happen because then that is to me there is a formula where, oh yeah, there's Homelander, but we got to have this other mini boss version. And I think I didn't think he was going to last the season just because that's what I thought Stormfront last year was going to last. And I saw how quickly they got rid of that. So I think the same thing, if we ever see him again, it's something minor, but nothing, not like another full character arc or season or something. So.
yeah. And then I'll transition there just to piggyback on what you guys were saying about Annie.
Mhm.
Great scene with Huey, looking at the V, but deciding to give her the power instead, piggybacking on his whole thing of him being jealous she had power, but kind of overcoming that. I didn't care so much as Taylor did that she, kind of fell. I didn't expect it. I thought she would continue to have power, but I guess it makes sense when she's blowing out all the lights while she's consuming that energy.
That's
So, I
true.
mean, was there even power left for her to consume to continue staying in OP mode if all the lights were blown out?
They got to bring a bunch of batteries with her all the time. They just got to get because if she wants to do it all the time, she's going to have to be by somebody like somewhere that has lots of power. So.
Yeah, I thought that was good for her. And I guess who else was? I guess
We haven't talked about the
Kimiko.
boys in
Oh,
general.
yeah?
Just we've kind of led with the villains and stuff like that. But yeah, leave with the maniac Kamiko.
That scene. She
Great.
just puts in her music, starts
Yeah.
dancing. It was good.
These poor guards have no idea what they're dealing with. Like they got no shot whatsoever. It's just like a adult versus a bunch of children.
Yeah, it was interesting to see her fight again after she decided she wanted the powers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a different dynamic to it. She was happy, enjoying it, and being able to feel that power again, getting shot. So I thought she did a good job conveying that happiness through dance/killing.
Yeah. No, it was good. I think that was a fun scene. I think you're dead on there as far as like you show her motivations now. Like before, it always felt like this kind of burden to do these things, but now she's choosing to claw men's heads down to their very skull and stuff. So if that makes her happy, that makes her happy. Her and Frenchie are like fully couple now. You know, they pretty much said they love each other. So I like that. I hope next season they're just with the group. I don't need a solo venture like we got this season where it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't doing too much for me. And yeah, I don't have much more to add on them other than I'm happy they're around. Frenchie's, funny as usual. So, tell anything on Kamiko and Frenchie?
I just am very happy that Frenchie stopped doing lines of coke and was just like, I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm not gonna have the chain. I'm not going. How do they say it? I'm not going to have the chain around. That's not a French accent. He's not gonna have the chain around his neck anymore.
Yeah.
The
And then
lines with Butcher were great.
oh yeah, 100%. Let's take an ad break and then we're gonna talk about that man we just mentioned, Butcher. And we're back. So yeah, me and Tara talked about this and another thing we had predicted, but I'm happy we predicted because I was worried because last week they did the whole thing where Starlight phones and says, hey, this is going to kill him. And then right away he gets off the phone and he says, oh yeah, Huey, we got to get some more V. Me and Taylor both thought like, okay, he has to not let Huey take the V or this is just really bad writing because you just had a whole episode where Butcher has flashbacks about his dad, his brother, and he finally realizes he's the issue in this group. And if he just like sacrifices Huey, it's like, okay, he would have gotten that point of like the deep where it's like, I don't want Butcher to be redeemed because it's like he's gone too far. And I liked that he did do that. Same thing as like Noir, it happened right away. Like the first scene we see them in the gas station, he knocks him out, locks him in there for a little bit. And he's gone and stuff. And I love that he like Soldier Boy's like, what's happened? Like the plan, like he's a teleport. Like, how are we gonna do this? Like, oh, don't worry, I got it figured out. And I loved, like I said, I loved everything about Butcher like this whole season, but these last two episodes because this was his. It's weird saying he needs a redemption arc, but I feel like he did. I feel like he was going down the route. Me and Taylor talked about in other reviews for the past few seasons. He starts as a guy like, yeah, wants to take out evil soups, and we're cheering for him. But then each season, he progressively got worse and more like we've talked about this season, like Homelander, as far as like betraying his group and lying and doing undercutted things. So I like that. The stuff with Ryan, I like with Huey. He even said like he looked like his younger brother because it felt like he was kind of saying that he was gonna, like, I think Butcher thought he was gonna die in this scenario, so it was his kind of way of saying goodbye. And yeah, then we got the official, we talked about the fight already, but then we got the official diagnosis that he's going to be dying within 12 months to a year. Now, there's two things with that. One, I wonder if he was to take more, does that make it happen faster? Or is it just no matter what, 12 to 8? And also, I feel like there's always time for a cure. 12 to 8 months is a long time. But if he does die, I think that's fine because we had talked about before if, the other way, if all the boys dies and he's like the old, like his dad, decrepit guy, bitter, I don't see that anymore because he's not going to hopefully be the bitter guy. So I like this ending.
I just want to say both times you tried to say 12 to 18 months. The first one was 12 months to a year. And then the second one was 12 months to 8.
12 months to 8. Well, who knows? This is just a guesstimation, this compound visa. But 12 to 18 months, Butcher had. He was bleeding and stuff like that. But I think it's, if this is the route we go, at some point where he just collapses over very via Logan style and just dies after doing a good deed, I think that's fitting for the track they have him on now. So
I do think him doing more would make it go faster. If he were to take some, then all of a sudden he's down to 6 to 12 months or whatever it is. I think that because he knows he's going to be on his deathbed, that he's going to take more risks, be more willing to do stupid shit. You know, if they need someone to be the scapegoat, he's going to be willing to do it. And so I think next season is just going to be him kind of balls to the walls, not giving a shit. But not in the same way that we have seen him,
Yeah.
you know, being that asshole. It'll be more for the greater cause.
Not giving a shit about his own being, I think, like that way. Where before he would like knock out Marvin to get his own way. I don't think he'll be doing that. I just think if there's any time to make a sacrificial play, he's going to be willing to do that because he, as of right now, doesn't have much time left. 12 to a year, 12 to 8 months.
When do the boys learn that he's gonna die? Because so far no one knows.
Well, they already know he's going to die.
I don't think
Everybody
so.
dies.
Because if he went over the limit, so they know. Well, everyone dies, yeah, but he
they
went
didn't,
over the limit.
They didn't like openly address that. Like, I don't even think they saw him in like the hospital. They just saw him pass out. Now he's back up on his feet. So I don't think. I think they'll play that by surprise. They'll be like, "Yeah, I've got like only this much time left." They'll be like, "What? Like really? Like I thought you're okay."
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's kind of a gray area, but I just feel like the character should be questioning that. They know he's gone over the limit, so why would none of them be poking at him? But again, that could be a thing. First episode next season, they're like, "You sure you're fine?" Like, "Oh yeah, it was just a bump of the head," and then eventually it's revealed. So yeah, I could see that, and then maybe they'll try and find some sort of cure or something. But
And there's also going to be kind of what exactly is going on with their brains, not in terms of dying, but just in terms of the fact that it turns it into Swiss cheese, it was referred to. So if there's going to be pieces of their brains where they're not able to like use logical thinking or not able to do something because they're missing pieces of their brain from melting it with the compound.
yeah. Taylor, what about you? What do you think about Butcher's arc here? Not only this episode, but the season.
I'm just glad that we got that the payoff from what we were kind of talking about last week. Where is he just gonna backtrack? And yeah, when he punched out Huey, locked him in the bathroom, I thought, okay, great, this is perfect. This is his own shitty way of trying to protect Huey instead of just telling him the truth. So it fits with the character. Yeah, like I think where he got to in this at the end of this episode, like it's sad, but him coming to this point where he's gonna die goes to show, okay, we're nearing the end. I think at least, because again, I haven't read the comics. You haven't read the comics. We don't know the source material, so I'm assuming this is nearing the end of this story. I guess maybe just for Butcher, maybe it'll keep going after that. But I imagine once Butcher goes, that's going to conclude it. And so this episode, just him working with Homelander, trying to protect Ryan, and just being compromised a little bit at times. I just think it really worked for me. I think we didn't always need to see like super strong, tough Butcher, but him having that opening up episode with Mindstorm, I think it was. He's just now got so much more, many more layers added to him, and I think where he's at now is just, it's interesting. Oh, he's an onion. He is a very, very like tears coming off the eyes onion.
Onions. Yep.
Travis is so done with my shit.
And then no, I feel like onions came up. They came up in the 7 year, right? Where is it? I feel like it just keeps
We
coming
definitely
up.
mention onions at some other point.
Yeah, I feel like it just keeps coming back to fucking onions and Shrek. Like it's always the same thing, onions and Shrek. But yeah, and then for me, the only two other things, because I liked. Again, what I like about this show is most of the time it doesn't take a tropey route. Because I actually thought there was a good chance. I guess we'd have to jump back a few bits. So this was episode 8. Episode 6, I thought there was a chance we were going to get Huey and Starlight broken up together for a while. After episode 7, when she kind of had that conversation with Kamiko, I was like, okay, she sees from Kamiko's point of view, and that's kind of helping her to see from Huey's point of view, right? And we also had him in this episode eat shit. He admitted he was wrong and stuff like that. So I like that. They've gone back together, and I'm hopefully like both of them have worked out their issues. I don't need a big breakup storyline. That's where I thought we were going. So I did really like that they're back together, and I really like the scene with Marvin and his daughter, of just like him finally explaining like, hey, heroes aren't always the best people, and here's some things, and just kind of letting her in that world, because that is like a world-breaking thing, that's like revealing certain holiday characters for kids would not be real, except it's not that they're not real, they're fucking murderers and they're bad people, so it's a lot to take in. And like I said, I think I want some confirmation. Like I imagine Todd is out of the picture, right? I think they're not together anymore.
I don't know about that. I think that's going to be a driving force, is that he supports Homelander. And
Well, then that's a bad mom.
and
You gotta we're gonna talk about what happened with Homelander, but if she's not in a relationship there and that guy's still Homelander supporter, come on now.
well, I mean, there's probably a lot of households in America where this is loosely based off of that they were voting for different parties.
Oh, 100. It's 100% that, yeah.
But I think that's going to be a driving force. I don't think they're separated. I think that 100% that's going to play into something. And I do want to, I know we're kind of jumping around side characters, but with Starlight throwing out her costume, I agree. I'm fine that there wasn't a big, huge breakup. They kind of made up quick and easy and things went back to normal. But her throwing away her costume was kind of the opposite of Huey turning up the electricity. He made her feel, more powerful, but then so she's not a soup so much. She's a regular person with powers. She got rid of that kind of status costume that she was always wearing, making him feel lesser than. So I thought that was a good kind of play on the other side to bring them both more into the middle.
Plus, it was a costume that's pretty much based on a lie, right? All she wanted to do was join the Seven, and she did join the Seven, and look at what it really was, right? So it really means nothing anymore now. So,
got anything on those couple of side characters, Taylor?
Well, I mean, what you guys touched upon with with Starlight and Huey's relationship, I definitely was expecting it to be a little bit more of a span of like being broken up, but maybe even if it was a little bit of an acceleration or rushness, just kind of get them back together. I'm okay with it because I like them together. I think they're a good couple. So her throwing her uniform out again, I really like that because she's just like, screw it, like that's be gone with it, whatever, and
be gone.
Yeah,
be gone, suit.
Yeah. So now when you get to the dynamic of Marvin's like the stepfather, I'm so God, he's a piece of shit. He really is.
Because like the one thing is like Jessica's right. Like they are definitely tying the kind of mega group with Homelander, those illusions right now. This is why this is where The Boys is great. You can have the argument of like, well, in real life, Donald Trump didn't fully get off a stage and decapitate a guy, right? So that's where it's like, oh, well, you would hope that everyone would see that. And that's my hope with the mom character, that she would see that and see that Todd supporting that would be the end of the relationship. I hope they do go that route, even if it's episode 1 and it's a conversation like, no, this is too messed up. I hope that happens. But I still think we unfortunately live in a world where someone might do that, and there will be a group of people that would cheer that and fully support that person. Like I think it's a sad thing that we live in this world where this ending of
an absolute reality. Yeah, there's no question about it.
The ending of this Homelander thing's not unrealistic. It's not unrealistic at all. And we've danced around, but what he lands down with his group, all the supporters, the ones that think that Starlight's stealing children and everything like that. And then you have Ryan, who floats down, which was a big thing because remember he couldn't fly last season. The whole pushing him off the roof gif and everything like that was a big thing. So obviously he's already taught him a few things. And then there's a Starlight supporter throws a fucking pop can or spray can in Ryan's face, kind of embarrasses him.
Fascist fuck.
Yeah, embarrasses him in front of everybody. And then Homelander, this time, no dream sequence, no illusion, no alternate reality. He just takes a step forward and blows this guy's head straight fucking off. And everyone's like scared for a second, but now they cheer. And this is like the worst case scenario for the boys in the world, because the whole thing was like, what happens if Homelander snaps and everyone finally sees him for who he is? And now we're in a world where he's snapped, people have seen him who he is, and there's people that love him for it. And now that's even more worse than him just killing everybody, I think, because he'll have like supporters. He'll have like, it reminds me of like, it was not the greatest done, but like in BVS when they had that alternate version where Superman was bad, and then you had like regular guards that had the Superman patches, and you're like, why would Superman need guards? But it kind of is like that, where it's like, it just is like, it helps because like he'll just always have people on the ground now. And to me, that's where I think when people say, oh, nothing changed. To me, that's a status quo change. That's Homelander literally killing. Doesn't matter if he threw the can on the kid. He's still and I don't even think he was aiming for the kid per se. I think he was aiming for Homelander. But like, he killed an innocent man live on TV. To me, that's a full-on game changer, And I don't know. I think next season the Vought and Seven will be together, that group, but it'll be more of just like they're almost going to be kind of like a terrorist organization. Like they're going to be a group, but I don't think they will be a hero group. It's just going to be Homelander and his people that he's holding hostage, you know?
I want to just say I was actually surprised at how long it took for them to start cheering. I thought it was going to be almost instantly. There was a good, 10 seconds where it was just awkward and silence. And I do think the fact that they showed specifically that it was Todd that started screaming and cheering first, it has to show that there's going to be some kind of play in there. If they had just already broken up after Marv said he took her to a rally, then I don't think it would have been focused on Todd being the one that screams. But the other thing on that scene, I actually expected Ryan to come down in a suit. I don't know why, but
he's wearing a black noir costume. Just floats down.
Got his Noir's helmet on.
Same ripped suit too. It's all baggy.
But yeah, I definitely, you can see the parallels that are being drawn to real life, and a lot of Reddit posts are getting shut down right now because there's a couple of people finally figured out that they're being made fun of. But
yeah, 100%. Yeah, like they didn't understand what the allegory was for.
What's going on Reddit?
Well, this has been happening the past couple of weeks. I'm surprised you hadn't seen it, but
enlighten me.
This episode was so Homelander's supposed to be, make America great again, kind of the super right wing, I'm better than everyone, and people liked him, and then now realize that they're being made fun of. That this
and he's the
character
villain.
Yeah, he's the villain. He's super bad. He's killing people for no reason. All the crazy people, the Nazi supporters follow him. All of this. So they finally figured out that, he's the villain. He has all these bad people.
The boys is too woke now. The boys is too woke,
Yeah.
Oh, now it's too woke.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, it's
So
too
they're
because
going
it's
on
too woke.
Reddit yeah. Oh, this show left fascist. They're blah 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 woke and yeah. So this is the episode that finally, straw that broke the camel's back.
Which is funny.
That broke the
go
right
ahead.
wing brain.
Well, and that's why it's just so funny because like they've been drawing those parallels to Homelander since the show started, and that's why if anyone didn't pick up, like if the people in the world that are those supporters and they're just now realizing like he was the villain of the story, they've been doing that since episode 1. Like he's always been but like it just it's funny that it happened, but I do think there's still a chance we don't actually ever see Todd again. I think they just may just use him because he's a familiar face, and that was like the end of his story. And he's just because there could be a time jump with the boys, right? And if he's like super fucking crazy Homelander, that breakup could happen off screen too, and maybe we see Marvin and Todd get into it like at a rally or something. But I'm very curious next year to see. Does Homelander just continue that now? Like, does anytime anyone talk out against him, does he just kill? Because technically, he's still like he broke a law there. Like, I know he's superhero, but he broke a law. He didn't do the thing in season 2 where he had that vision where he snapped and killed a bunch of people, but he's still on TV broke.
But who's gonna stop him? The VP is gonna be like, we're gonna work with Homelander and just see what we can do about this because that's just.
But that's what I'm excited for. Does the
everything.
president of stuff them go? Do they decide, hey, no, we do have to take Homelander down and stuff like that, or is we're gonna work with him? Because I still want to know, can Newman pop his head? Because to me that's an internal thing, right? And maybe we're gonna get that answer next season. That could be how she goes, as she might try it, and he's like, nah, that doesn't work here. But that's why I'm just curious to see the landscape of this post-murder world to see which route they go.
Mm-hmm. Especially now you have Ryan smiling too. When
oh no, he's
fucked.
fucked.
Like
yeah.
That's not good. Shit.
Yeah, I'm interested because I always thought the potential way for Homelander to die is Ryan killing him, and I just don't. Now I'm looking at him, trying to think like, how do we get to the point where Ryan turns back? Like, what would make him turn around? I do think we will get that. I'm not a writer of the show, so I don't know what they have planned, but I do think Ryan will turn again, and I think we're gonna get a Homelander versus Ryan scene. I think it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty epic. I think it depends how long they wait to do it, but. I just don't know what it's going to be. Butcher's just going to have to work real hard to repair that relationship. I think it's going to be mostly on Butcher, and he's going to do something. So, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. Anything else to bring up?
Top of my head, I can't think of anything.
No. I think
No.
Jessica's frozen, or she's in deep thought right now. She's in deep thought. She's
Jessica, blink once for yes, blink twice for no.
No, she's gonna be like, what do I want to bring up
She's
and
not
everything like
blinking.
that.
This is
Yeah.
it's just a
Oh,
repeat.
don't remind me of first aid. I just had a whole week of first aid, and you saying like she's not blinking. Man, that was some crazy shit there too. She just joined. She joined 2 windows and whatnot. So
I thought the fourth person was jumping in. Like it was Kirklin
Yeah,
joining.
Kirkland just binged the whole season. We just said, Jessica, is there anything that you want to mention? We didn't have any notes left. Anything about Homelander or anything just randomly about this finale before we close it out here?
So, because like I said, I can still hear you guys. So it's weird.
Were you blinking? How many blinks did you give us?
Enough to say that I was frozen.
Jessica's
So-
just in a room, looking like she's about to seizure or something,
So
or
you were talking
getting possessed. Kids are gonna walk out and just see their mom.
it's okay. Because you're gonna find out they're gonna take over the podcast for some reason anyway. So
That's
might
Taylor's
as well
plan.
just-
Yeah,
That's
wait
gonna
till the
happen.
7 year. He has this whole fucking. He's gonna Soldier Boy Homelander us. My God, it's like I got many years planned to be on this podcast. You know, it's like it's a job I can do when I'm 60. I can sit down and talk. I'm sure there's gonna be some 6-year-olds out there that want some opinions. They're gonna be listening to podcasts, be like, I can't get in these 20-year-olds. What is
Fuck these kids.
Yeah. What does screwdriver mean? Like they're gonna have their old new slang and stuff like that, you know. And they're gonna need those 6-year-old podcasters. So I'm not giving it up yet, you know.
Anyway, so you guys were talking about Ryan killing Homelander, and that was actually what I was thinking, is that he might be the one to kill Homelander, and then Butcher has to break his promise to Becca and kill Ryan,
Oh,
so that way Ryan doesn't become the new Homelander.
but don't you think if he kills Homelander, that means he's on the good side? He's turned the corner.
Well, maybe he's just more evil than Homelander. Maybe Homelander finally turns the corner and Ryan's like, no, I want to keep killing people. I just think that would be a way to wrap everything up in a way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with Ryan and Homelander and Butcher, and then Butcher can just die because there's no cure and he's got Swiss cheese brain.
Swiss cheese brain. Yeah, I'm interested. I always do want Butcher. I much like how Marvin got to be the guy that put the gas on Soldier Boy. I do want Butcher to be the one that kills Homelander. I go back and forth going like, okay, it could be Ryan because of power, but just that final blow, I do want to be Butcher. But I feel like what we're gonna get actually now, if they stick to their word or what they've put out here with the whole 12 to 18 months, I could see a thing where Butcher kills Homelander, but Butcher's dying right at the same moment. Like very much like in this season, the first episode, they sat down together and just talked about it's gonna be you and me, right? I feel like that's how they'll go out, is together. Just finally Butcher. It's almost like very fitting that he can rest because his whole mission's been to kill fucking Homelander, and he kills him and he can take him out. He can just go now. You know, it's like, okay, I've done my deed.
Okay, so what about this then? He takes the compound V24 one last time. Homelander's done something so redonkulous that him and Ryan team up. And then, like you said, Homelander dies, and then Butcher dies and has his redemption with Ryan saying, you know, I did my best for your mom, you know. And then that's how Ryan comes back to the good side because of this. There we go.
I could see
I'm
some
feeling
scenario
that.
playing out like that. Yeah. And that's where I'm just excited for, or I'm interested, whatever it may be, to see what the writers are going to use for the Ryan turn if they do that. It could almost just simply be that Homelander he'll end up being a dick because Homelander is that way, right? He's a piece of shit character. So it was, like Taylor said, it was a worry when he killed that guy and Ryan smiled. I thought they were going to show Ryan being a little scared, and it's like, oh, he's going to put together like this isn't right. But no, he just has all these people cheering him and his dad, right? So I wonder if Homelander is going to be even to the point of being a big abusive or something. Like he's verbally and physically abusive to the other people. Now those people are not, as he said in this episode, his family, but I wouldn't put it past Homelander. He's a terrible person, you know?
Well, and he just had his dad say, if I raised you, I wouldn't have let you be such a pussy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Now that's in his brain, too.
Yeah.
Any
Anything
thoughts,
else?
Taylor?
No, I mean that's Soldier Boy for you. just calling him out. So
Yeah.
I don't have much I can add to that.
Well, Jessica, because you don't give a rating, I'll ask you, what are your final thoughts on this season overall for season 3?
Amazing. It was
Mhm.
great. It continued each episode to bring surprises. You feel like something should be the episode before the finale, but there's still more. Then you feel like, okay, where are they going to go from here? And then there's more. They bring out a lot of, amazing scenes and twists and turns in this one. To me, Taylor said that he felt like or saw that people thought this was kind of back to the beginning. To me, this feels almost kind of new slate-ish. We got a couple of new different pieces kind of put together, and I do really wonder where it's going to go. Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite season so far, so definitely. I mean, in theory, if you've listened this far, you've already watched it, but if you haven't, I'd advise you to go check it out.
I would say so. That'd be a bold play. Not. I'm gonna start with the season 3 finale review. But Taylor Field, where are you on this?
This is definitely. It was such a fantastic season. Like, it really, really was. Was it my favorite season of the show? I'm probably gonna say no. I think and that's not
What is for you? I'd have to sit down. I've never thought about that. Like, because now I feel like I don't think about that until I get to these like 3. When it's 2, it's just like, oh, I liked 1 better than 2 or 2 better than 1. But now there's like a ranking. Like with Stranger Things, I have to think all the time. Like, okay, where do I put this there? Like, technically, season 3 is my favorite, but I think season 1 is the best one of Stranger Things. So, like, boys, what would you say? Because the introduction last year was like the Stormfront Homelander debacle, and then you had this one.
I really like season 2 a lot. I think there were so many things in there that I was really just laughing at, and it was quirky. I'm never ever gonna forget the Deep coming in on his whale, and then just the boat. That scene, that's just cemented in my memory. It's just fucking hilarious, as gruesome as it is. But
there's also the penis termite scene here. I mean,
yes, there is, and that was totally unexpected craziness. That's for dang sure. But I kind of like when the boys were kind of on the outside of the law and they weren't necessarily working for the government. That being said, it's not a takeaway. It's not detracting this 3rd season whatsoever, because I loved it. I thought it was great. It was enjoyable. Every week it was just been a highlight. I have to really wait and think on what I would place season 1 and 3 as, which would be my second, and then which would be my 3rd pick in my list. I know season 2 is my number 1, but I'm probably gonna have to go back and rewatch season 1 and 2 for the heck of it, just to kind of like refresh myself, because it's been so long now. But yeah, I would probably still give this season like I'd probably go like a 9 out of 10. I mean, I'm docking. It was fantastic. I'm going to dock at a point because, again, there were some things that felt a little rushed. Not that it's probably because I'm biased and I liked seeing Huey and Starlight back together. But again, it's still rushed. Can't deny that. And I wish that Black Noir got a little bit more in him. It definitely was just, again, non-biased. It was sad and just really abrupt. I wish there was just a little bit more of a length, because it's just that one episode he came back in and then he's just gone. So I wish
that
there
would
was
have
a
been as
little bit
shocking,
more.
though, right? If you would have got, that's the argument where the reason that death was so big and
It
shocking,
wasn't-
because you were
it
expecting
wasn't
more, right?
Well, no.
I mean,
it wasn't
shocking when we got
wasn't
it, though.
shocking at all. No, because
You don't think so?
No, because when it happened and we're in this, we're watching this scene. I could feel like, it's gonna happen. So I wasn't shocked by it, and I think that's where I read the room and could see that it was gonna happen. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that we did get a little bit more out of it. So.
Yeah, see, because I was in our conversation on Twitter with Dookie, I actually did think that wasn't going to happen until Black Noir had a scene with Soldier Boy. I thought they were at least going to give us that. It's like, okay, just to have that showdown. And I thought Soldier Boy and Homelander might kill Black Noir together, like a way of like bonding and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm a little higher than Taylor Field. I am. I don't know why I gave you your full name, but there you go. I think I'm at a 9.5. I think that I agree with Taylor like a little bit. There's like a tad rushiness. I feel like there's like small things here and there that we've nitpicked. My biggest thing is still like what I talked about before, the Maeve stuff, just because she's been a core character. And I feel like they never really scratched the surface. They only did enough with that character. And for me, it's like I wanted a little bit more, but a good send up, but still 9.5. I'm still waiting for that 10 out of 10 Saul that I got no problem season. And at the same time, though, with this show, I have to go back because I think I've said that about season 1, 2, where I think those were about 9.5s. Maeve was always a con, but I think that I'm there's so many shows like Stranger Things where I'm like, okay, I want to go back and watch it all because the final season's coming up and I want to remember some things. This is just the type of show that the second it ended, I just want to rewatch it again from season 1 because I've enjoyed it so much. And I want to see now from episode 1 to where we are now, the arcs and everything we've learned, how it's happened. And I might, because I do feel like a sadness that The Boys is gone, and I'd like to rewatch it all. So yeah, a 9.5 still great. I can't say it's like the best show on television because there's fucking 18 million shows on television and you can never say that anymore. There was a time 10 years ago where you could say Breaking Bad was the best show on television. You can't do that anymore unless you're watching everything because there's just so much. There's so many shows like.
So let's say out the shows that there's so many shows for sure, but let's say the shows that you're aware of and you have seen.
That I'm aware of.
At this point, is it the best show on television right now that you have seen amongst the shows you are aware of?
I think it's second best, just behind Barry, because Barry is fucking so goddamn good. But I think that this is the way I'll put it. It's as far as the superhero stuff we cover, just leaps and bounds. I think the only thing that ever got like close to this was Loki season 1. Is feeling like that hype moment. It delivered the performances and stuff. But I still think even Loki, like. That's the thing where, and it's so weird, and this is where Dylan doesn't like the number system, and even Jessica, where it's like Loki, I think I gave like a 10 out of 10, right? And that's because technically I had no problems with it whatsoever. There was no cons with it. There's nothing where I went, oh, like the Maeve thing, like this feels like it's missing. But the overall quality, that's where I always say my rating is always a combination of my, like, what I enjoy and my critical eye. On my critical eye, Boys and leaps and bounds above a lot of things. It's more closer to the Daredevil HBO Watchmen that it is like Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. Doesn't compare to this. Miss Marvel doesn't compare to this. Like even WandaVision, I think at moments can compare to this, but then I think it falls a little flat and stuff. So as far as the stuff I'm watching, yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, we'll be back if it's back next year, which I think it will be. We'll be back next year with The Boys. I don't know. You can go back and check out our previous reviews. If you're checking out our Amazon reviews, we'll be back September 2nd for The Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings. We'll be reviewing that every Friday. I don't think we've officially said that, but those ones will always be on the Friday because in the fall, we have a lot of movies on the Thursday. So instead of just doing the switch back and forth, and that gives people time to see it. So I think that's what we'll be doing is probably every Friday doing those reviews, and I'm looking very forward to that. So
we're not doing the terminal list?
Did they drop that weekly or all at once?
I
think it's
no
weekly,
clue.
right? Yeah. No, we're not doing the Terminal List. No, I've thought about checking it out, but there's just so many other shows again that I'm like, no. And even then, I'm like, I might rewatch The Boys, which I shouldn't because I have so many shows that I want to watch. I have a bucket list of shows I want to catch up on. But then I'm like, oh, I'd like to watch Homelander's journey from start to finish now and get all this, but. 'Tis his life, but we got so much good content. So thank you very much for tuning in. I promise when you hear from us next, won't be boring.